Welcome, everybody, to Come Back to Love. This is Robyn Vogel, and we are on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. I'm your host. I'm a love and intimacy coach, an IFS therapist, and the creator of Ready for Love in 90 Days. This is a sacred space where we explore the real, raw, and beautiful journey of coming home to love, starting with ourselves and extending to the relationships we long to heal, deepen, and ignite. Each week, I'll share powerful tools, heart opening stories, and transformational insights to help you release the old patterns that keep love just out of reach. Whether we're healing from heartbreak, feeling stuck in familiar dynamics, or simply craving deeper connection, you're in the right place. We are live every Thursday at 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I welcome all of my new listeners and the repeat listeners that come every week. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe everywhere you can in social media, wherever that is for you. And today I'm so excited to have a new and soul friend, special guest, Bjoern Marcus. And I'm going to share his bio with you, and then we will dive into undoubtedly an amazing conversation. So, Bjoern Marcus is a yoga teacher, Tantra practitioner, and facilitator based in Copenhagen, Denmark, devoted to helping people reconnect with presence, intimacy, and the wisdom of the body. His journey began in his teenage years, lucky you, with a love of dance, where he discovered movement as a language of the soul and a gateway to energy and connection. Trained in India as both a yoga teacher and a Tantra masseur, Bjoern weaves ancient wisdom with the precision of anatomy and the subtle transformative power of energy. His practice later expanded to include training and assisting in de-armouring, the melting method, adding depth to his work in guiding people home to themselves. Fascinated by the richness of the human experience, he offers classes, workshops, and one-on-one sessions rooted in authenticity, reverence, and a passion for exploring what it truly means to be human. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, that was quite amazing actually. I know I wrote it, but hearing it read back to me, that bio just fills me with joy.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, it's not something I do anymore, but I must have lied a little to make myself sound older because actually I started dancing when I was like 3 or 4.
Oh.
Um, but yeah, I pursued it professionally from yeah, 13, 14. I started the a ballet academy, sort of professional dance school. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Mm.
It's so amazing when I hear people who started so young, even age 3. That's like
Yeah.
outrageous. And it's just incredible to come in as such an open, aware, embodied being, which is so the opposite of my experience. I always loved dancing. Like I loved the things that I sort of had to do as a child, but I loved them because we danced and we sang. So like
Nice.
I had to go to Hebrew school, which I didn't love, religious school, but we danced and we sang and that made me
Mm.
happy. So I loved going. But
Yeah.
because of the things that happened in my life, I kind of like separated a lot from being like solidly in my body and that then needed to come around to it later on. And someone like you were just dancing so young, and I can just imagine how much that has, and you said how much that's supported your journey.
Absolutely.
So cool, so cool.
Ironically, though, I kind of reflect a little bit like the opposite because
Hmm.
I started dancing from passion, but then when it became work, when it sort of went from the body to the mind,
Mm.
um, I, you know, I pursued other avenues.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. A winding path.
Mm.
A winding path. So let's start with Tantra and like what it means to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's start there.
I love about Tantra that everyone sort of has their own definition. For me, it's a combination of two things. It's the sort of the extension or the stretching of energy, how we can mold the same basic elements into so many different experiences depending on how we apply them. Um, and for me, like I started learning Tantra in India while I was there working as a yoga teacher. And I think my most profound one sentence from a teacher is love everything.
Mm.
And he was just, he didn't speak much English. He had a translator, but he just like, he would just be like, love everything. And then a big smile. And I was like, yeah. So if I had to boil down Tantra to its essence, for me, it's love everything.
Absolutely beautiful. and and so simple. There's so many people talking about Tantra. My business and this radio show is called Come Back to Love,
Yeah,
love everything, and keep coming back to that as a practice over and over again. Because of course we fall out of love, or we fall into judgment.
yeah,
Every moment of every day it can shift in one direction or another. So I feel that practice of coming back to love is so meaningful to me. And when you say love everything, it's like, yes. And I have a spiritual teacher I'm studying with last year, and he said recently, you want more love in the world? Be love. Which is
yeah,
basically the same thing, right?
yeah.
It's like, and with Tantra, I like how you say it, by the way, I cannot roll my R. Um, I just can't do it. Um, it can be so complex and complicated, and studying the sutras and the this and the that and the breath and the practices and the ancient this and the blah blah blah, all that stuff, all really good important things. And you, like me, like, where's the simplicity of how to be in the world? And never mind that it's a tantric life or it's not. It's like, love everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, like, I get the question often, like, when did your tantric journey start? And I
Mm,
always usually say when I was born.
right. I knew you were going to
Like,
say that. Yep.
yeah, because
Yeah.
whether you're, and this is how I feel, and I make this very clear, like, I can't speak to the ultimate truth of the universe. I wish I could.
Maybe you are.
But maybe I am. And, the power to speak my truth, I feel is keeping me closer to whatever the ultimate truth is, as a channel or as a manifestation of everything that is. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, you know, my teacher used to always say, love doing the dishes because they serve you the food that nourishes your body, and all these
mm,
just like rings in the water of what in essence should be or is very simple, and then it spreads out into the complexity that is everything.
mm. Yeah,
But it's
beautiful.
hard to it's hard to say to someone like, okay, just come and join this really crazy, complex, intense, weird, complicated, wide concept. And people are like,
Right.
okay. Or you'd be like, all right, just come and breathe and look someone in the eyes and we'll start there. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Mhm. Yes.
It's like offering uh, a starting point for a journey that can go anywhere, but really can also just stay within.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I am loving this. Really. Just this piece is so huge, and I people are always asking exactly that question, like,
Mhm.
what is Tantra and where did it start for you and what happened? And then I do have a little story myself of a moment where I realized, like, life is so much bigger and greater and grander and spacious than I ever thought.
Yeah.
Um, so I usually share that moment. Um, and yeah, just what you said, you know, when we were born.
Mm.
And I just love the idea of not making it complicated because it's really not. It's really not.
Really not. Like it's
It's
really
it's
not.
not easy. It's
It's
not
not
always
easy.
easy.
I don't think it's easy, but I don't think it's complicated in the
Right.
sense that once you feel it, I don't think it's so much about understanding because I don't understand half of the things happening in my life on a daily basis,
Yeah.
but I don't have to. And that surrender for me, and l- growing up in Scandinavia, and I mean,
Mm.
everywhere, everyone in the world knows IKEA, right? It's kind of square, it's clean lines, it's very hard to assemble, but easy to use, right?
Yes. Great.
And
Are you using IKEA to talk about Tantra? That's hilarious. I love it.
and this is
Yeah.
an important thing for me because I can teach yogic Vedic tantric philosophy in its depth and its complexity. But if people don't understand what I'm saying, then what's the point of my sharing? So for me, when I've been teaching and facilitating, I try to always really go into both the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain. So
Yeah.
going with a little fact and a little emotion.
Mm.
Because, for example, IKEA, bar some remote corners of the earth, someone will have at least heard of IKEA.
Mm.
And most of us in the modern Western world has felt the frustration of putting you know,
Yes.
a piece of furniture together, IKEA or not.
Yes.
So this is like for me also a way to connect the more ineffable, esoteric. I mean, if you go and say to someone in the supermarket, love everything, they'll be like, what?
Right.
But if you can connect it in a way that they understand, like, wow, love, oh, those are the last apples. You wanted those apples. Like, do you love that? Yeah.
Mm.
Send love that you got the last apples. And it can start in that very, for me, sort of everyday, innate, ignorable things if we
Mm.
don't love everything and pay
Right.
attention to those little things.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. It reminds me of a guru that I have been connected with for not that long, but maybe 8 years or so. There's an ashram in California here in the US, and there's his ashram that's much larger in Varanasi in India. And he always talks about how when we look at the sky, that we see the airplane, but we don't see the sky. Like people will look at the airplane and be like, oh, look at that airplane, and not noticing
Everything around it.
everything else.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
literally everything else.
Literally everything. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's a great practice. And I'm sitting in front of a window, so I'm really noticing the sky right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm really, really appreciating that. And I feel like everybody who's listening now knows what Tantra is, period. Like thousands of people that will be listening to this, and there will be,
Yeah.
and there are, now know what Tantra is, and they can say it. And I love that you said that you can talk about Tantra philosophy and go really deep with that. And another show, please, around that piece.
Yes.
Um, but like you said, like it's not really necessarily, it's not about the brain going like crazy trying to figure things out. I love the sort of drop in a left brain piece, but then expand into the being. My language would be expand into the being of who we truly are, which is love, and be present with that. And yeah, and in appreciation, which is really important these days. Important all the time
Yeah.
and important these days.
Now more than ever.
I think so. I
But I
think
bet they would have said that 30 years ago and they would have said
same.
that 50 years ago. And, it's, I
Yes.
think, I think every human and time period, every lifespan has some variation of
Mm-hmm.
these ups and downs of feeling when there is a necessity for something. But what I will say for how I feel about our time now is it feels expansive, and it I encounter myself more and more people that are curious and that are expanding their their lifestyle, their view of the world, and
Mm.
then at the same time as there's expansion in one
Mhm.
place,
Yes.
there's contraction in another, right?
Right.
This
Yeah.
is the perpetual transmutation of energy. It's going all
Why
these
big
all
and
these movements, right?
right. Yes. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And for those of you that are just listening and not seeing the video, there was just a grand gesture of expansion and contraction and expansion and contraction. The waves come in and they go out and they come in
Yeah,
and they go out. Just the natural rhythm, the natural order of things in the world. We breathe in, we breathe out. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like the movements of our lungs and the beating of our heart and the expansion and contraction of the wings of a bird or a butterfly, it's ever present.
Yeah. Hmm. So I'd love to move to de-armoring. It's
Fabulous.
a word that I said in your when I read your bio, and
Yeah.
I know that in terms of our listeners and the demographics, the largest percentage of the listeners, there's over 50,000 people that listen to the Come Back to Love radio show, which is
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Since January this year when it began, January 1st, 2025. And I know that there people are listening all over the world because this is a syndicated radio show and the
Mhm.
outreach is massive. And there's a really big percentage of people also from the US and the East Coast because the radio station is originated here where I'm from outside of Boston. Or not, not right outside of Boston, but in this general location area of the world. And still, as educated as we are here and as, sort of personal growth oriented, as a lot of people are here, not everyone, but most of our listeners, I bet, with intention, um,
Possibly. Yeah.
possibly. But the
Yeah.
word de-armoring isn't a word that we hear a lot here in the
Yeah.
US. And so I would love to share more about the practice, about the benefits, about, what you know about it. And we have time for a little bit of an introduction to it before we take our first commercial break.
All right. Great. Yeah, no, I wasn't really familiar with the concept of or the practice of de-armoring either until a few years
Mm.
ago. Um, but my teacher says it in a way that I find quite profound and very succinct. It's allowing ourselves to feel everything that was never felt.
Whoa.
So, right? And
Yes.
and this is quite a powerful concept. And from my personal experience receiving the de-armoring sessions, it really has been a way for me to tap into feelings that I, for better or worse, mentally put on a shelf and was like, yeah, that's sorted. And then when you tap into where it is in the body, not sorted, actually, like ripe and ready to dig into.
Mm.
So
Wow.
de-armoring is a physical, mental, emotional practice, a modality to let go of of stored up emotions and
Mm.
tensions.
Wow. Okay.
Is
That's
that
a
a good
perfect place to
introduction?
pause and let our listeners just kind of mull over that. And we'll come right
Woo.
back in just a
Breathe into
moment.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome back, everybody, to Come Back to Love Radio. I'm Robyn Vogel. I'm here with Bjoern Marcus, and this is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, listeners from all over the world. And today we are talking about we're talking about Tantra. Now we're talking about de-armoring. If you're just tuning in, I really encourage you to download the episode and start from the beginning because, wow, the best definition of Tantra I have ever heard. Simplest, easiest, accessible. I'm not kidding, Bjorn. I'm serious. And yeah, so download, replay, re listen, start from the beginning. All good. And now continuing with de-armoring. Whew.
I feel
Feeling
like
all the
I'm
feelings that we've never
I feel like
felt.
I'm blushing. Am I blushing?
You are.
Yeah. All right. That happens.
I know.
My body, like I would never make a poker player because it's
No.
like I would no, terrible. No poker face. No.
Some people are seeing you on video and the majority are listening to the audio, but I have the benefit of seeing you on video and how red your cheeks are. So just describing it to our listeners.
Yeah. It's I don't know, I may have been de-armoring myself too much. It's I can't I'm not good at keeping up an appearance or and yeah,
Mm,
I mean hearing someone like you that I have had the pleasure of seeing in action as a great facilitator and listen to your
mm,
podcast, and I love the name Come Back to Love, because that's, I would say, such a guiding light or a pillar of my work is really reconnecting to, whatever people call it. I call it love, the energy that
mm.
connects us all. And
Yeah.
and also when teaching yoga, we practice with palms open, and I usually say to receive the energy that we all share. I call that energy love,
Hmm.
but whatever you feel comfortable with calling it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Beautiful.
so having you say that that was one of the best explanations of Tantra, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm all red now. If you're not, if you're just listening, I'm bright red,
Well,
but quite happy about it.
yes, you look adorable.
Honored and pink.
And pink.
I'm tickled pink. Yeah,
Tickled pink, pretty in pink. Lots of metaphors. Yes, beautiful.
bring 'em on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the
Um,
de-armoring journey, like this, um, I've been in these, yeah, 25 plus years of working with the body as a dancer, as a yoga teacher, as a tantra therapist, giving massage, but also coaching sessions, facilitating. Um, I've done Reiki healing, and like I really am fascinated with, like my bio said, everything that comes with being human, and through the de-armoring process and with the melting method, which is
mm,
a, I would say, very comprehensive way of approaching de-armoring. Where I've experienced some de-armoring schools, it's more like just breaking
mm,
through and breaking the armor. Um,
mm,
but very few people, I feel, are really ready to put themselves back together
mm.
once you crack everything open.
Yeah. Wow.
So this method by my teacher, Sunny Ju, I found very, you know, breaking and healing continuously.
So it's kind of like a removing the protective parts, removing the barriers. Yeah. Removing
Yeah,
the things that are in the way that we've put in place for good reason. Like we didn't come in
for
with that,
protection.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. We put them in place because something happened. In my case, my mother was very ill early on, and I had a lot of loss early. So protection, protection, protection to
yeah,
survive, all good. I always say, like, the protection we provided for ourselves, such an amazingly brilliant strategy
Yeah.
at that time. And then later on, we spend kind of the rest of our lives, I think, kind of peeling it off and trying to, as maybe in the words of Sunny, melt
Yeah.
those parts off so that we can express who we are, feel the feelings we haven't felt before, be more of who we truly are at the core.
And I love how you said express who we really are,
Mm,
because for me, that's such a profound lack for so many people today, like not being able to, or even really knowing who they are because of the protection that we've built for, like you said, good reason.
mhm,
Um, we're disappointed, we protect ourselves, we get hurt, we build up armor on that side and on that side, and then, you know, all of a sudden you have this good or this well-intentioned, impenetrable barrier between maybe yourself and others, but sometimes between yourself and yourself,
mhm. Right.
right? The patterns, the habits, these things that may serve us in let's say adolescence that does not serve us as adults.
Mhm,
Um, and then if we're lucky and if some attention is brought to it, then we can start peeling back the layers.
mhm.
But you
Yeah.
could also just end your days, whether it be 60 or 80 or 100, in your sphere of protection.
You mean you could live your entire life in the sphere of protection
Yeah.
and not choose the other? Not.
Well, I mean, choosing is guaranteeing that there is a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
Yeah.
circumstances could be such that you're never presented with the choice,
Yeah, that's true.
or you're not aware that you have a choice.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Thank you for adding that piece because, yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of people that don't think they have a choice. There was a struggle and there was trauma, drama, whatever it is, and a lot of protection necessary. And a lot of people think that that's how it needs to be.
Mm,
And then there's so much dis-ease and
mhm.
disease, both that can result. And along with not expressing the fullness of who we truly are, back to that, which
Yeah.
is so vital for feeling content and satisfied and joyful in life. That's my
Mm,
experience. I know that when I was younger and I knew that I was like on a good path and learning and growing, I also knew that I wasn't fully expressing like my truest self. And it was so uncomfortable. And it was just like
mm.
this subtle discomfort underneath everything. And even though like life was good, things were happening and moving, but I wasn't like quote unquote there yet. And I could feel that I wasn't. And I was like, I want to be there. Let me be there. Come on. It's like, uh, 20 years later. And I know not everybody has that like awareness that
Yeah.
that something's off. I had a few course corrections, as I call them in my life, where somebody was like, Robyn, walk this way, not that way, move here, walk straight this way. I was like, oh, okay. Even if I didn't know where I was going, it was the right direction. Um, so yeah, so I'm just mulling over choice and the assumption that I made that people know that they have a choice and that they can make a choice. So I think part of what we're saying together is like, yes, there is a choice actually,
Yeah.
many choices in every moment. And de-armoring is one choice. And I would say just to, expand that into any practice or modality or connection with somebody that supports you in letting go of the things that, are keeping you from being joyful and alive and able to love everything, back to Tantra,
Yeah.
right?
And fully, being fully yourself
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
all the emotions. Um, in the de-armoring trainings that I've been assisting on, we work through all the emotions from anger and grief
Mm,
and joy and all these, and this has been such a big part of my tantric journey as well. I've done a lot of men's workshops
mm,
to heal, the male wounds between men and men.
mhm.
We're not going to go into the wounds between men and women. There are many. The wounds between women and women, there are many, and between men and men, there are many.
Yes.
Um, if you want to go like super simplified, you have daddy's girl and mama's boy, right? So
Mhm.
right there, we're already creating a disparity between women
Mm,
and women and men and men.
mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
And
interesting.
it's kind of a pop culture
Yeah.
way of looking at it, but this is also one of my approaches because it gives, for me, a fairly simple twist to look at it differently, but maybe understand what's beneath it also.
Mm,
So in doing a lot of work with men, there's, this competitive energy and um and working to de-armor that through tantric workshops and through, breathing exercises and even sometimes like partner yoga, just, men working together to
mm,
create balance as opposed to imbalance, and things like this.
mm,
Again, that's very simple in its essence, but can be quite profound because even doing seemingly simple things can really make a shift.
mhm. Absolutely. I love that. I love partner yoga, first of all. I love it.
Mm,
I love to teach it. I love to practice it. I love it. And I love the embodied metaphor. It's not even really a metaphor, it's an embodied experience, actually, of what you just said. Like, go, invite two, in this case, men, but anybody,
yeah.
into a partnered practice that's stabilizing and balancing. And there's an automatic feeling of I'm being supported and I'm supporting, which is so, ugh, when in moments like this, I feel if everyone in the world could spend 20 minutes doing partner yoga, and
Yeah.
let's up the ante a little more with with someone they don't care for, or they have a judgment about, or they're fighting with, or they, like, oh my God, can you imagine? That would just completely change the world, period.
Oh my God, come and try this. I call it humanity. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Come, have a taste. It's the sweetest thing you'll ever have. And all you have to do is show up and breathe and just be present. It's free, guys. Yeah.
But no, instead, we're just going to charge like a lot of money for a 20-minute partner yoga class, you and me, I mean. And yeah, because like that's the way the world is. But yes,
Yeah.
hello, it's humanity.
I
Yeah.
actually, I actually once I was hired for a private birthday yoga session,
Hmm.
and it was going to be her and her kids and all her friends and she said how much do you want paid, and I quoted her what I would normally get paid for a yoga class, and her response was like, no, that is not enough. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to pay you that. I'm going to pay you this. And it was like, I don't know, 4 times as much. Because she was like, you're selling yourself short. Like, what do you, I wouldn't hire you for that. That's way too little. Like, here you go. Um,
Beautiful.
and it's, but it's so funny because what you just said really made me reflect on these things because yes, we need to pay our bills. And there's this expression in Danish, kærlighed og kildevand. It means love and natural, like mineral water, right? So if I could live on kærlighed og kildevand, if I could live on love and water, I would. And I know that some people can, but I'm very comfortable in a beautiful home, and I get to eat more or less what I want, and that doesn't come just from not charging, but it's still my policy to really not overcharge.
Hmm.
And you know, for me that's been a challenge, balancing the necessity of paying bills with
Hmm.
the desire and necessity of sharing and being in service.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get that. I totally get that. And I also love what she said because she was putting her finger on the value.
Mm,
And we can say, which we did, you did, and I joined in, welcome to humanity. We don't have to teach partner yoga all over the world for 20 minutes, although I think we do.
let's do
Um,
it. We
yes.
definitely should. We definitely
Yes,
should, I
we
think. Yeah.
definitely should. Because welcome to humanity, I mean, that's a big invitation if we really think about globally, you know.
Yeah.
So I love how she said, and we have this system where we value things with dollars or, whatever the,
Krona. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, whatever the, other measurement of money is. Um, and it has meaning to us because we made it meaningful, you know, and we make it relevant. And so, yeah, like, yes, this work is so incredibly valuable. I mean, imagine if every time somebody washed their hands, they remembered this conversation and remembered to feel grateful for water, for touch, for the moments. It's a huge, huge. I mean, Thich Nhat Hanh spent his entire life, teaching people to wash their hands with presence.
Yeah.
And we still have to relearn it every single day. I'm including myself. I don't have gratitude every moment of the day when I'm washing my hands. I do it quickly and I'm going to the next thing. I've got to get on the radio show with Bjorn and quickly washing my hands.
Yeah.
And it's such a wonderful practice and a wonderful
Yeah.
reminder to love
So
everything.
if I can offer like a little something that's worked really well for me in this aspect,
Great.
um, things like adding a little bit of essential oil to your like hand soap, for example.
Mm.
Like every time I wash my hands, the bathroom is filled with this scent of ylang ylang, this like very
Mm.
floral
I
sort of,
love that smell.
yeah.
Making my
So,
Yeah.
for me, it's been a great teacher to add like more sensual, so senses, more experience in
Mm.
these more mundane, like everyday things.
Hmm.
For me, that engages
Yeah, that's
me a
beautiful.
little more.
Yes. Yes, because we talk about awakening the senses in
Mm,
Tantra.
mm,
Um, and essential oils, which I'm trying to find the one that's usually right in front of me. It's lavender, which I
yeah.
love. And I love, yeah, ylang ylang. My goodness. Um, yeah, that really does open up and awaken the senses.
Mm,
Yeah. In Costa Rica, as an aside, if anybody wants to know this, that's listening to our show today. In Costa Rica, the ylang-ylang tree smells like at 4 p.m. in the middle of the day, at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but not earlier. Earlier, you can go up to the flower and smell it, and it
yeah.
smells. But at 4 p.m., it's like emitting a smell
Yeah.
out into the air. It's unbelievable.
That sounds amazing.
I don't know why or how, but that's been my experience. It's really powerful.
That's amazing.
Yeah, That's really, really cool. Yeah. So give us, we have a few more minutes. Actually, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll come back with my question. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. This is Robyn Vogel and Bjoern Marcus. We are on Come Back to Love Radio, and we are so glad you're here, especially for this part, because we're
Yay.
going to, yay, I was going to ask you for a little bit more tangible, like information about de-armoring so that people can get a sense of maybe something they can do for themselves. Certainly working with a practitioner is, the most powerful has been for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what I know that people feel blocked and they don't really understand why, or they're seeing a pattern in their lives repeating itself over and over again, and they don't really understand why. And what people end up feeling is like, oh, I must be doomed. This is my karma if they're using that language, or
Mm.
this is just how life is, all such and such, are terrible people, or all, and then there's these sort of gross generalizations that aren't true. And I work with that a lot in my own work, shifting that paradigm using specific, tools and mindset changes and just information and processing, getting to the feelings, getting them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder what you would share about that.
So, I mean, for deeper de-armoring work, definitely seek to work with a professional.
Yes.
Um, because part of de-armoring is actually just someone else being present with you to allow whatever is inside to come out. Um, and then, of course, there's the actual physical, like kind of trigger points, parts of the body where the system's original creator, which was a German um, by the name of Wilhelm Reich, as he developed um, his system, which has then grown, they use
Yes.
specific pressure points. Um, if you do want to work with points at home, I would
Mm.
say just what is very accessible is um, the muscles of the skull. Now it's super easy for me because I shave my hair off, right? But even with beautiful, luscious hairs like yours, you can just bring the tips of the fingers in, just massaging like the scalp, the area around our temples and stuff like
Mhm.
this. And it's also things that we would naturally do, right? It feels
Yeah.
um, quite natural, and like you're doing also down towards the masseter, which is, the strongest muscle in the body, according to
Joe.
its size, and yeah, the chewing muscles, and also where we have a tendency to hold on to resentment, right? This sort of not being able to speak our truth, and like we talked about earlier,
Mm.
like being fully yourself, this is speaking authentically is part of that, right? And now we have
Hmm.
huge amounts of people grinding their teeth and sleeping with teeth guards instead of just liberating themselves to say, you know, thank you
Yes.
and goodbye
Yep.
to what they no longer need, but feel
Yes.
unable to do it, right? So
Yes.
around the jaw, really releasing the tension of the jaw,
Mm.
um, and other things just like self-touch,
Mm.
right? We're so
Yes.
focused on, well, I can only speak for myself, but I've been very focused on touch from other people.
Hmm.
Um, and but really also this like presence in your body can also come from self-touch, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Around the shoulders, and also maybe, if you're laying down and if you're on your way to sleep, or if you have a meditation practice, or if you're just power napping, whatever format it takes in your life, rest your hands in on your body,
Hmm.
maybe on your abdomen, on your chest, like feel your heartbeat, feel your breath moving.
Mm.
And this, so in a sense, just
Yeah.
finding different ways of connecting to yourself in a way that suits you and your schedule and your personality.
Mm. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. It's really when I guide self-touch, or self-massage, people are usually really surprised at how good it feels.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we're really, as a culture, focused on touch from other people.
Hmm.
But like just like holding your face and like you said, the temples and oh my gosh, I love having my head scratched. Like that's one of my
Mhm.
favorite things. And I have nice long nails now. And so I've just been scratching my own head. It feels so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can definitely resonate with that. I don't have long nails, but I do have wonderful friends with long nails that are happy to scratch my head or my back upon request. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
lucky that way.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I want to encourage everybody to check out the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, they're just below. If you're listening on the radio, they are also the show notes on the whatever platform you're listening on, actually. The show notes are there. So, but do you want to say your website or any invitation to just check you? I love your website, by the way. I think it actually is just being on your website and reading and seeing the images is really informative. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I so my website for all my work is B Yoga, B like Bjorn, and then yoga.dk. Um,
.dk.
yeah,
Just emphasizing that because here in the
dot
US we're mostly .com.
DK for
DK,
Denmark.
yes, for Denmark.
Yeah. So there's some descriptions of the different works that I do. There's some shared thoughts of like my intention behind my work
Yeah,
and yeah, some different things and different channels that people can look into. So they're super welcome to do that.
thank
Um,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, I think just, wherever you are in the world, just checking out byoga.dk. Um, it feels like there's invitations there, whether you're coming to Denmark or you're not coming to Denmark, just invitations to be.
or you can extend an invitation and maybe I can come
Yes.
to you.
Oh, yes. That invitation is extended.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or just
We'll
write
do
me an
that.
email if you're curious or,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so, so much. This has been just lovely, so beautiful, so heart-opening, heartwarming for me. And just, I know that everybody listening can feel the soothing and calm and loving energy that is emanating from you and
thank
from
you.
me, but also from you. And so that to me is just really exquisite. And so I'm very grateful. So
Me
thank you
too. And
to,
I'm happy we're on opposite sides of the world so we can spread the light
Mm,
from several angles.
yes, I
Yeah.
love that. Yes, I love that. Well, thank you to our listeners. Thank you to you. Thank you to our listeners. We'll be back next week, Thursday, 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see, let's translate that for Denmark. That's um, 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. Eastern
Yeah.
Time on
Great.
Thursdays. Yeah.
Yay.
So tune in and we'll see you next time. Have a beautiful day, everybody.